Hello everybody. This is a video response for AngieLupusLife. I believe that's the name. I wanted to say thank you for your response video to my questions. So I figured I would make a video back. What the hell? You piqued my interest, you know. I mentioned the idea of CBDs in cannabis, and I asked her whether or not, you know, she thinks that CBDs are good on their own. It was kind of a rhetorical question, in a way. I just wanted to see what other people thought about this. Cannabidiol being used as medicine by itself without any other cannabinoids in the mix. And since the trials of the 50s and 60s with pure THC, it can make people feel psychotic, crazy, deranged, delusional. THC by itself tends to have, it can cause problems and paranoia. And my belief is that CBD by itself, of course, can cause problems on its own too. But the reason that why I asked if you had taken pure CBD is because my friend had, that's how I found your channel. I was looking for information on the Harle Sue because my buddy had just given me a clone which has been lab tested at 15% cannabidiol and less than 1% THC. So it's a highly potent medical strain, and he also brought me a bag full of these little capsules. They were made with the plant. So we each took a couple. I took two, then I took two a couple hours later and tried not to smoke any weed. And the effects were pronounced. It was definitely a body high, a good feeling of well-being. But, like you said, there's never been really that many times where THC isn't in my system. So it's hard to know what the endocannabinoid system is doing, or endocannabinoid if you want to call it. I figured, you know, I had this debate with my buddy the other day. We were talking about how people call them cannabinoids, but you don't call it cannabis. It's cannabis, so it's cannabinoid. Irrelevant semantics, details of words, whatever. It's all about a combination and a full spectrum of cannabinoids, but at the same time, not all plants are going to have the same rates and the same levels of all cannabinoids. So I don't think it's all of them, because I believe there's well over 100 cannabinoids, or 80 or something like that. There's a lot. I try not to give numbers because we're finding new ones every day. And here's the thing that I wanted to include in this, was really important. Not only is it the cannabinoids that are affecting the high or the medicinal effect, but we also have to consider the terpenes. The terpenes are the volatile compounds which create the essential oils that we're also familiar with. And we know that essential oils have medicinal properties as well. Well, cannabis essential oil is no different. The thing is that whenever you smell cannabis and it smells like a pine tree, that's pinene. It's the same exact thing that is found in the pine tree. When you find one that smells like spice, it's the same smell as the spice. In other words, it's not a smell that smells similar, it's the same terpene. There's pinene, alpha pinene, there's humulene, and the list goes on and on and on. You know, I can't think of them off the top of my head, but I know quite a few. Myrcene is a big one. That's the one that's found in hops as well. And all of them have their own medicinal benefits. So while I'm at it, you know, on top of the terpenes, I had this this idea occurred to me that you know, cannabis has been bred. We've been breeding cannabis with THC to be stronger in THC for so long. We neglected the CBDs, and this is why I think that the cannabis today doesn't seem to be as mellow or relaxing as that in the 90s. I feel like that the breeding has gotten out of hand, and we've missed the CBDs. I have a high THC strain, Crystallica. Then I have a high CBD strain, which has almost no THC in it, which is the Harle Sue. Then I also have the CBD Blue Blood, which is 10% CBD, 15% THC ratio. That's my favorite herb. It's a good balance. Now, there are many different compounds in cannabis, as well as I've been doing a little research on alkaloids as well, just to see, you know, what other constituents, what other components are in cannabis that we're missing. Because we spent so long with THC, we missed the CBD. Now, the thought that occurred to me was, when are we going to start breeding cannabis that's really high in CBD, as well as other cannabinoids that are also psychoactive. Maybe ones we haven't discovered yet or haven't pinpointed exactly the effect. Meanwhile, leaving out the THC. Now, can you imagine if a cannabis came out that got you stoned but had no THC in it? The drug testing system would go crazy. They'd have to reformat for those people, and they wouldn't, because it would just be a small group of people smoking that herb. But I've had to take drug tests, so I know how important it would have been to have cannabis that didn't, that I could pass on. So that was just a theory. Anyway, I'm just glad that you have found medicine that works for you, Angie, and this is something that one of the biggest driving factors behind why I like to grow cannabis is because I like seeing people happy. And smoking cannabis makes you happy, as is. It's an extra bonus on top of the usefulness and the medical benefits of it. I don't have any illusions. I like getting stoned, and it can be abused like anything. But I enjoy the high, but I wouldn't grow Harle Sue if I was just trying to get high. I like to see people getting the medicine they deserve, and I want to be part of the movement towards the high CBD strains because I want to be on the front lines of the benefits of these things, which have been overlooked for too long. And it's just like things like defoliation when you're growing. I mean, I've heard people go crazy over saying, defoliation will kill your plants. I defoliate my entire garden. I remove every single fan leaf, and that puts more into resin production, more into the bud production. But it depends on the strain. It depends on so many factors about which plant it is. And likewise with cannabinoids, it's the same way. We have different breeds, different strains for different uses, and so each person's going to have to find something that works for them. And so for those out there who have had issues with paranoia or anxiety on THC, I would recommend you try a CBD strain. And if you're trying to get pain properties out of it, CBD capsules are a great way to go. So anyway, I'll leave it at that, and everybody have a good day, and thanks again, Angie. Take care.